Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video and actually another Sundaeswap video, because as we approach the launch on Thursday, there's a lot of questions going around. So this one is going to be on providing liquidity, yield farming, and how all of that works, the risks, the rewards, and hopefully it will help people decide what's the right path for them. I'm just checking my audio here because I already recorded this video, but turns out that there was no audio, so we had to go again. Look, if you get some value from this, please share it out there. Hopefully it can help people understand what is to come. I will create detailed tutorials after this goes live, but here I'll take you through the basics and take you through what we already know from Sundaeswap. Give the video a like, let me know your own questions or comments below, and I'll try and get back to them in the comments, as well as take some of them into the next video as well. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Let's jump into it. So this is the Sundaeswap article that I went through in my last video. I will leave a link to that video down below for anyone who wants to check it out. The two common questions out of that are, when is it too late? Once you delegate by the 25th of January to any ISO pool, then you will be included in it. And for people who run multiple pools, for SPOs included that run multiple pools, any of their pools will count for the ISO. And the other one then as well is, how many Sundae tokens are you going to get? I've got questions for so many different numbers of ADA if people stake it. Right now we don't know, because Sundaeswap are putting up 5% of their supply. It's going to run over 5 epochs. So every epoch there will be 1% of the Sundaeswap supply up for rewards. That will be split over everyone in the ISO, and it won't be a straight for every 1080 you provide you get X number of Sundae. There's going to be whale measures and different things in there. So we'll have to wait until the first payout to see what the split actually looks like. And at that stage, some people might decide that, look, providing liquidity or yield farming are going to be a better option for them, or they might split their rewards at that stage and see what they do. So this one is to have a look at the yield farming aspect. So yield farming, there is a step before this. So yield farming is kind of the extra rewards you get on top of providing liquidity. So we'll start with providing liquidity, talk about what that is for people who haven't heard of that, and then we'll get into yield farming then as well, because Sundaeswap are giving yield farming rewards for providing liquidity with these 4 assets here. So straight up, what happens first? So this is the testnet. I presume the mainnet will look very similar. You come in to provide liquidity. Now, first off, why would you provide liquidity on a DEX? When you provide liquidity, that means that you get a share of the trading fees that go through that liquidity pair. Because when you put up the liquidity, that allows trading to happen on the exchange, and everyone who puts through trades pays a fee, and percentages of that goes back to the liquidity provider. So when you provide liquidity, that would be where you put up ADA. It could be any asset, doesn't have to be ADA, but for here, I'm putting up ADA and SBERI because this is just test. So when I put up liquidity, you can see I want to put up 100 ADA, but in order to do that, I also need to put up SBERI as well. So the ADA is worth $143 currently, so I need to put up the same equivalent value of SBERI, and then that's what goes in to create the liquidity. When I create the liquidity, then I get back an LP token, and that's a liquidity provider token. And that's the token that I then take and I stake that in order to get yield farming rewards. So when I go into the yield farming part then, if I provided liquidity for any of these pairs, now I'll go through the risks and rewards of providing liquidity and yield farming in a second, but once you have your LP token back, if you've done it for Sundae ADA, LQ ADA, World Mobile ADA or Cards ADA, then you'll be able to take that LP token and then put that into the yield farm, and you get back extra rewards on top. Now, when you go into the yield farm, Sundae are putting up 500,000 Sundae tokens as rewards every day. And this is for, you can see here, over the first 6 months of the DEX at least, and then I suppose it'll be reassessed. I don't know if there'll be other pairs added here at different stages, but we'll see what comes. And as this is in production on mainnet, I'll be able to do more regular videos. But if it stayed like this, and if they split it even, it would be 125,000 ADA would be split over everyone who's providing first off providing liquidity and then taking the LP token that they have and putting it into the yield farm. Now for some people they might just provide liquidity and they mightn't go into yield farming then as well. And the reason that they might do that is because with yield farming here, there is a 30-day lock. So, not a lock, you can pull out your funds at any stage, but if you pull out before the 30 days, you won't get the extra yield farm or the extra bonus that you were entitled to. So you can see here for when you get your LP token in exchange for depositing the pair assets into the pool, you get your LP token and then you put it into a yield farming contract and you put it in for 30 days. If you do that, then you get your rewards on that as well. But as it says, you can withdraw early, and if you do, it just means there's no yield farming rewards will be earned for that total term. After the 30 days, you can take out your rewards and it will auto roll into the initial LP you put in, will auto roll into the next 30 days, but you can take out your rewards without any impact on the actual future rewards. So that's it on yield farming, and it all sounds great that you can put in your funds into a liquidity pool, you earn trading fees, then you take your LP token and you go into yield farming, and then you earn these even bigger rewards on that. So why wouldn't you do it? And it's always good to look at the balance, and for some people they'll put a small bit into each of them. Actually, one thing before I get into the risks is people ask, can they be involved in the ISO and be involved in providing liquidity and yield farming? The answer is yes, you can do it, but whatever funds you put into the ISO must stay in on your own wallet staked to a pool. When you get involved in providing liquidity, what happens is you send the ADA or whatever asset it is into a smart contract. So that means that it's no longer sitting in your wallet, so it doesn't count for the ISO. And that is seen as one of the reasons that someone mightn't get involved. Actually, there is some of the risks here. So loss of custody of the wallet you're using. So when you put it into a liquidity pool, then it goes into the smart contract, and potentially there could be issues with the smart contract. You can see here vulnerabilities and that. But with Sundaeswap, we know the smart contracts and everything are audited, so hopefully everything is good there. You can never say 100%, but from what I've seen from the team, I'm extremely confident in them so far. So that is one of the risks, and that is why you can't do the ISO and provide liquidity at the same time. You can do all of this from the same wallet, because whatever funds are left in your wallet, they'll be included in the snapshots for the ISO. Other reasons you mightn't do it, and I suppose the biggest one here for a lot of people, is impermanent loss. So volatility of token prices resulting in impermanent loss. So lots of people might have heard of impermanent loss, but might not understand it. And I've seen lots of complicated explanations of it and different ways of trying to go through it. So I'm going to keep it fairly simple here. So here's a calculator to work out what the impermanent loss would be. So this is based on Uniswap, but it should be fairly similar, and we're not really looking at the numbers. It's more to show how it would work here. So let's say on the initial prices when you put in your liquidity. So we'll put token A is ADA and token B is Sundaeswap. So let's say ADA is 140 when you start, and Sundaeswap, no idea what the price is going to be, but I'm going to say 10 cent here just to put a number on it. So that means that I've put an equal amount of each of these, an equal amount in dollars terms. So if I look down here, so for providing liquidity, that would be 487 ADA and 3,659 Sundae tokens. Let's say in the future when I go to pull them out of the liquidity pool, ADA has gone to 150 and Sundae has gone to 20 cents. So Sundae token has doubled in price, ADA has gone up slightly. That would be an impermanent loss of 4.68%. And that is measured on, if I just held the assets, I held my $500 worth of ADA and $500 of Sundaeswap, then the value of them tokens would be just over $1,500, you can see there. But if I provided them as liquidity, due to it balancing up and having the same value on both sides, then I would be getting back, or the value of what I have would be $1,463. So you can see a slight difference there. If I had to hold them and not do anything else, then the initial capital would be worth more. But because I would be earning trading fees during this time, potentially earning yield farming rewards as well, at 4.68, that would be very acceptable over a longer period of time, because the other ways that I'm earning should more than balance that out. But the biggest risks come when, let's say, the Sundaeswap goes to 60 cent. Then, which, look, when this launches first, I expect it to have a fairly big rise in price. There will be an inevitable pullback, so be careful if you're getting in. If you get in the first minute, there's a good chance it's going to skyrocket for you. But if you get in after that, there's a chance you'll get caught in the big pump and there will be a pullback. So just be careful on what you do there. So you can see the difference here. If Sundae went to 60 cent and ADA still only went to the 150, look, these prices could go down as well. The impermanent loss would be 28.29%, which is getting to be fairly steep now. So that means that if I just held the two tokens, they would be worth just over $3,500. But with the way the liquidity works and balancing out to have the same value on both sides, my position would be worth $2,535 in the liquidity pool. So you can see in this case, potentially it would have been a lot better just to hold the pairs, and because even the fees and everything like that mightn't make up the difference here. It depends on how long you have it in there, but at a very high level, that's where impermanent loss comes in, and that's where the risks are. Ideally, when you're providing liquidity, if the two assets kind of move up and down together, or they don't, one doesn't go way up and one go down or anything like that, that's when things can be very profitable with providing liquidity, because the assets are staying fairly similar and you're picking up the extra fees as well. Another good side here on 3 ways that you get wrecked with impermanent loss are if one token drastically increases in price, which I suppose the example I showed there of Sundae going to 60 and ADA just going up slightly, if one drastically decreases, or if one token increases while the other decreases. So again, what you want to see is the two tokens fairly stable in terms of gains or loss when looking at them relative to each other. So I'll put them links down below. I hope I haven't confused things too much, and hopefully it has been of some use to you. If it has, please do share it out there. Look, for me personally, I will have some in the ISO. I will have some providing liquidity for the different asset pairs, and then I will put some of the LP tokens I get into yield farming. I probably won't put them all in because of the 30 days where you have to have it in for 30 days. But for me, I will have a bit of a balance across the board. I'll talk about that a bit more when it's actually live and when I can show you the examples of doing it firsthand. Hopefully this has prepared you a little bit for it. Any questions, let me know below. Don't forget to subscribe, give the video a like, and I appreciate everyone watching. I'll talk to you soon.